ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुस्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. ಓಂ. ಹೇಳು. ಸೊ ಅದು ಚಾಪ್ಟರು 14
ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ 18
18 ಅಂದರೆ 18. 18 ಓಕೆ. 18th chapter. Now first vocabulary we have studied, the grammatical points we have studied, so we have to check the translation given Sanskrit to English. Come on, read out.
Pandava Rajyama Vindanta. Pandavas obtained the kingdom.
Correct.
Acharyan Shishya Abhyavadayanta. Acharyan Shishyaha Abhyavadayanta.
ಹಾಗೆ ಬಿಡಿಸಬಾರದು. ಅಭಿಅವಾದಯಂತ ಪದದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡಿಸುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಹೌ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ಉಪಸರ್ಗ ಅದನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಬಿಡಿಸ್ತೀವಿ? ಅಭ್ಯವಾದಯಂತನೇ ಒನ್ ವರ್ಡ್. ಪದಚ್ಛೇದ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಭ್ಯವಾದಯಂತ ಎನ್ನುವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಪದ. ಉಪಸರ್ಗ ಧಾತುಗಳು ಸೀದಾ ಉಪಸರ್ಗ ಧಾತು ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸಪರೇಟ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್. ಉಪಸರ್ಗ ಧಾತು ಪುಟ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಒನ್ ವರ್ಡ್. ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ ಪದಚ್ಛೇದ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಬ್ರೇಕಿಂಗ್ ದ ಸಂಧೀಸ್ ಅಲೋನ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ವಿ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ಸಂಹಿತೈಕ ಪದೇ ನಿತ್ಯ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ ಏಕಪದ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಏಕಪದ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಿದಿನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ವರ್ಡ್. So that means it is one word. So that with inner sandhi within the word, inner sandhi should not be broken. Word as a word, if one word is joined with another word through sandhi, that alone we break it. But the sandhis within a word we don't break it. Okay, that you break it only at the time of learning the meaning. But not in the padacheda. Pada means one word. So it is a one word. Okay.
The pupils saluted the teacher, the preceptors. Teachers. The pupils saluted the teachers.
Acharyan. Ali sandhi you must have seen it. That is stoschunaschuhu. Acharyan na becomes chavarganesal. Because Shishya next is the Sha. See, Na, you can see, Na followed by Acharyan Shishyaha. Here the Na followed by Sha. So this comes under Stos Chunas Chuhu. Sto, this is Sakara Tavarga. When Sakara and Tavarga letter combines with stu. Okay. What happens? So in place of these letters, corresponding letter of these will be substituted. So here the na is na. Now how? What has the na changed to? Na changes to na. Such a thing has come even before. Areen Jayati. Areen Jayati. Is it? Na Ja. So Na has changed to Nya. Aringala. I think again you are doing the mistake. This is not Nga. This Nya is, it is a Chavargas. So you can't pronounce as a NG. You can pronounce it as NJ. ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? ಇದು ಅರಿಂಗ್. ಅರಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಲೆಟರ್? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಂಗ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಞ. ಂಗ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಂಗ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಎನ್ ಜಿ ಯು ಆರ್ ಪ್ರೊನೌನ್ಸಿಂಗ್. ಎನ್ ಜಿ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಜಿ ಕಮ್ಸ್, D belongs to Kavarga. Kavarga is pronounced from the Kantasthana. So you are pronouncing it is from Kantasthana like Ga. But it is not Ga, it is Ja. It is related to Ja, not to Ga. That's where, see, the nasal with ja. It is nasal with ga is nasalized here. Is a ja is nasalized. We are nasalizing the ja and not nasalizing ga. Ga is pronounced from the kantasthana, that is a guttural. So going, even if you say lightly, more nasalized. Ga less pronounced. Even if you say it comes from the same place, going like that. But engine, in engine, do you say ingan?
No.
You take it engine. In engine, how do you pronounce? Engine. J-I-N-E?
G-I-N.
Oh, G, J alla. Okay, even if you take G, pronunciation is J.
J, howda.
Inja,
Inja.
not Inga.
Inja.
Nga alla, nga alla, it is nya.
Inja.
Nya, inja. Or vengeance. There also ja. G is pronounced. That's why English is only a confused language. Even the Europeans don't like it. In languages like Spanish, French and other languages, if one letter is pronounced all the time in the same. But here, the letter one place in goes another way, another letter another way. Whether vowels or consonant, which one is pronounced as what is thoroughly confusion. English ಅಷ್ಟು ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಯಾವ ಭಾಷೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. That's why one Englishನಲ್ಲಿ you can learn 3 languages. In one English, the amount of time and strain you apply for learning English, within that you can learn 3 languages. It is such a difficult language. Other they made it, whole world they made it as an international language and imposed it. And in the name of international language, probably we should have learned French and Spanish. You could learn French and Spanish, both the languages, with the same amount of effort. We are learning English with the same amount. The amount of effort we are using to learn English, with the same amount you could learn 2 languages, probably French and Spanish. If you learn 2 internationally, our connection would have been easy. And we are stuck with English. And we think that English, not only as an international language, we made it as an Indian language now. Indians speak to each other, write to each other only through English. Indians speak to each other, write to each other, read each other's expressions and ideas only through English. And also probably they address themselves also English only. Inwardly, individually, they think only through English, isn't it?
It is happening today.
That's what I'm telling. So it is. Then how to say that NJ? NJ, is there any word? Vengeance nalli G ide, range nalli G ide, ella kade ide. J iruva word, is there any word where the N and J comes? Conjunction. Junction, okay. ಕಂಜ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಞ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಂಗ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಕಂಜ, ಕಂಜಾಯಿನ್, ಎಂಜಾಯಿನ್, ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್, ಎಂಜಾಯಿನ್, ಎಂಜಾಯ್ಮೆಂಟ್. In enjoyment, enjoin, conjoin, in all this thing, nya, nja, nya, nya, that pronounce. Nya is that. Nya. See, that's why conjoin, enjoin, enjoyment, enja, enja. It is not yenga. Going, in going, therefore you say nga, nga. It's not nga, it is nya. Nya. Nasalized ja. nya. ಇವರ್ಸದು ಜ್ಞಾನೇ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಪ್ರೊನೌನ್ಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಗಟರಲ್ಲ, ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಕಾಲ್ ಪೆಲೆಟಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ತಾಲು ಕಂಠ, ಇದು ಂಗ ಇದು ಕಂಠಸ್ಥಾನ, ಇದು ತಾಲು ಸ್ಥಾನ. ಇವು ತಾಲು ಕಂಠ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಎನಿವೆ, ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಅರಿಂಜಯತಿ, ಹಿಯರ್ ದಿಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್? ಶತ್ರುನ್, no, acharyan shishya. So here this na belongs to Sakara Tavarga. How? The last letter of Ta is Na. Last letter of Ta, Tha, Da, Dha, Na. Okay? So this followed by Chu. So Sha, what happens? So this letter changes to its own correspondent. Means Shakara Chavarga's correspondent. Chakara's corresponding is nasal. See, Chavarga's ending letter, this is Tavarga's ending letter. Tavarga's ending letter is replaced by Chavarga's ending letter. Therefore, Na is replaced by Nya. Nya. That. So here it is also like engine, conjunction, enjoyment, like that. Similarly, Areen Jayati. Areen Jayati, Na, there is a strain. Na is a Tavargas letter. Ta, Tha, Da, Dha, Na. It changes to Cha, Cha, Ja, Ja, Nya because it adjusts itself according to the following letter, following consonant. Therefore, Arinjayati, Arinjayati, Nya, Arinjayati, Nya, Nya, it becomes. Sanya, we call it. Sanya, Sanya, S-A-N-J, Sanya, like that. Okay. Okay. So here, that is Acharyan Shishya Abhyavadayanta. Go to the next letter.
Sachiva Bhupama Bhashanta.
Sachiva Yarannu Bhupam. Okay. Okay.
Ministers spoke to the king.
Okay. Correct. 3.
Sachiva Bhupam
Abhashanta. Correct. A third letter, a third allave. 1, 3 ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. Bhupam Abhashanta. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ Abhashanta is a new form. ಅಲ್ಲವೇ? And Sachiva also is a new word. Bhupa is also a new word anyway. All the 3. Okay. Next.
Naryaha Kavaryaha Pushpe Asram Setam.
Correct.
2 flowers dropped or slipped.
Dropped, correct.
From the hair of a woman.
Hair of a woman, okay. Asram Setam. So, Sramsa is falling. They say Naryaha Kavaryaha. Naryaha Shashti, Kavaryaha, what vibhakti?
Samji Panchami.
That's what I'm telling. Naryaha of a woman. This is the 6th. This is the 6th. And Kavaryaha is Panchami. Why? Why? Because we are taking from the hairlock. What did you say?
Braid of
braid. Okay. Braid andre their hairs in a style, it is arranged in a style. So that braid. Okay. Kabaryaha means it is a Panchami. That's why from that what happened? Pushpe, 2 flowers fell down. 2 flowers fell down. Fell down is better ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತದೆ ಅಲ್ಲವೇ? See, drop means 2 meanings are there. It is a intransitive as well as a transitive. Dropping means falling itself. Dropping means somebody is dropping it. So the dropping is ambiguous meaning. It is not very clear. Therefore, slipping can we say, or falling it say. It has fallen. It has just slipped down or fallen. Asram setam, fell down. Asram setam, sramsa. So, sramsa being atmanepada, sramsate is vartamana, sramsate. So, sramsate, what you call present tense. Past tense, if you make it asramsata, so it is a divachana. Therefore, asramsata, asramsetam, asramsanta. Okay. ಸ್ರಸ್ತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೀಯಾ? ಸ್ರಸ್ತ ಪದ ಇದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಳಸುವುದರಿಂದ ವಿಸ್ರಸ್ತ, ಸ್ರಸ್ತ, means a slip and fallen. That means a srasta. I think it's a Granthika pada. It's not commonly known. In Bhagavad Gita, Gandivam Sramsate Hastat. It is easy to remember. I think those who read Bhagavad Gita, Gandivam Sramsate Hastat. Gandiva slips or falls. Falls andre it's different. Slipping is better because it's a psychological feeling. He's afraid. He felt disturbed. Because of that, he is sweating, and from that, due to sweating, the Gandivam is slipping down from his palms, from his hands. Gandivam Sramsate Hastat. Okay.
Janena Vyahasyadhvam. You many are laughed at by the people.
Vyahasyadhvam. By people you are laughed at. Laughed at, that is Vyahasyadhvam. Correct. Next.
Rathyayam jananam samuhamaiksamahi.
Okay.
We saw a crowd of people on the road.
Okay. Rathyayam. On the street. Jananam samuham. See, this is when there is a Shashti Vibhakti, these words go together like one phrase. Like in English, one phrase you can't, like look after, you can't translate each word separately. You have to take look after as a one word together. On account of, in the midst of, this has to be together. Instead of, take together these words. Similarly, Jananam Samuham. Samuham means the crowd of people or a group of people. We see the crowd of people on the street. Aikshamahi. We saw. Ikshate is Atmanepada form. Its past tense is Aiksha. Aikshe, Aikshavahi, Aikshamahi. Present tense Ikshe, Ikshavahe, Ikshamahe. That is present tense. So it is a past tense. Aikshamahi means Apashyama. We saw. Isn't it? We many people. We saw the crowd of people on the streets. On the street. Rathyayam is Ekavachana. Rathya, you know how does it comes? Rathaya yogyaha rathya. Rathakki anukulavadallave. It is used by the ratha. But rathya can be used sometimes for horses also, because horses are joined to the ratha. Therefore, ratha is a main word. Through this ratha, that rathya means a street or the road. Street or the road. Okay. It will come later.
Ramasya
Rathya Charpata Virachita Kantha. Bhajagovindam, are you familiar? Rathya Charpata Virachita Kantha. Charpata means, pata is vastra. Charpata, broken cloth. Rathya, on the street. Rathya Charpata Virachita Kantha. Kantha andre the various cloths. The old cloths you take them for 2 or 3 or 4. Or if you take the same cloth, you fold them into multiple folds and stitch them. That a thick like a carpet like, you make them by folding and stitching. That's why Rathya on the street means found on the street. Charpata, pata is vastra. Charpata, the broken cloths or the old cloth thrown on the streets. Those things he collected and washed them. In those days there were no bacteria, there was not much virus and all those things, it was easy. So, and then he washed in water and all that. Rathya Charpata Virachita. Then he made it. Virachana is making it into a kantha. Rathya Charpata Virachita Kantha Punya Vivarjita Pantha. Like that. That means a sannyasi. A sannyasi lives with such a cloth. Because in winter, because the woolen clothes were not used, they were using some people, but sannyasi is not supposed to use, because by hurting the animal you get woolen clothes, so you are not supposed to use. So instead of that, you take the cloth and fold them in multifold. You fold them what you say that, in multi-layers and stitch them. Into multi-layers and stitch it. Making multi-folds and stitch them. It becomes thick. The thick one you cover it, so it protects you from cold.
Okay.
So that is called kantha. Quilt in English they call it quilt. In North India, have you ever been in winter? But they call it razai. Have you ever heard it? You never heard this?
I heard the word quilt.
Quilt is razai. The quilt in Hindi they call it razai. These days they stuff it with cotton. In those days, quilt is by multi-folding cloths. They stitch by unstitching. Multi-folding and stitching. That was used to be. And later, now these days, stuffing with cotton.
Sanjay, I remember old saris were given to a fellow. They would take the old saris and stitch it to make a
quilt. That's all. Yes, old cloths. They use the old, because old cloth in a single fold may get torn. But even if it is old, if you make multi-fold, it won't get torn. And stitch them together so that each fold gives a strength to other. It remains untorn. So you can use it in winter particularly, to cover it up. In that way, the old cloth will not go waste, and you will get something, a quilt for your winter. So you don't have to go for... See, in those days, nature, they were using nature sparingly. Like modern people, they think that by destroying forest and bringing them all, they consider it is a great development. You see, we are so much capable of destroying forest and making consumable commodities. Plenty of them we distribute and use them, abuse them. If you can't use them, throw out. But we just produce and then do them. In those days, they would say, don't use too much. They would tell in our children also, hey, don't waste it, because nothing should be wasted. And don't cut the trees too many. Just to cut as minimum as you need, and just to take minimum alone. And then any cloth, if elder brother uses it, afterwards it becomes old, younger brother. Now, Manu says that these old cloths should be given to the Shudras. They object to them. Oh my God, what is this? You see, the old torn out clothes are given to Shudras and Chandalas for using. It is not only for Chandalas, for themselves also. They make a quilt. Their younger generation uses. I think most of the time I used my elder brother. My elder brother just about 2 years older to me. So most of the time, almost all his clothes I used, even my shirt and then pancha, everything I have used. So that's how we were using them without wasting anything. Nothing should be wasted. After a cloth, then you make something else and then use it. Make something else and use it until it becomes totally worn out that you can only throw it into the earth. You can't use it in any manner. Until that stage, you keep using it. Then throw out. Then it gets merged into earth. So that way, they would say nothing should go waste. Because nature, so much of respect for nature in two ways. In mentally you respect it, and physically you use it less, so that its recycling capacity will not be lost. Nowadays, we are using them more than it can recycle. In those days, you use as much as you allow its recycle, you don't destroy it to recycle. See, therefore, Hindu culture is not only simply culture, it is a good environmental ecology also. Okay. And then now, our people, they say, hey, others old clothes they were using. You see the people, how people would come to home and they ask us, hey, if you have got some old clothes, generally you have some old clothes, give me some old clothes. They would come and ask and take away. Even respectable people come and take, not only the beggars. Because out of respect for them, one reason. Second reason is the cloth anyway goes waste. Instead of going waste, we use it this way. Third reason, even if my old cloth is old for me, but it becomes a new when other fellow gets it. For him it is a new. You see, even if it is old for you, other fellow gets it, it looks new. Because you got it freshly. So, therefore, I don't find that Manu and other Smritis, when they recommend these things, nothing wrong in it. And okay, if you don't want to use it, don't use it. But don't abuse Manu that only unnecessarily, he only wants to humiliate people. There is no intention. Manu didn't have this intention. In fact, he has got a different idea there, different purpose there. After understanding the true purpose, if you don't want it, still you want to waste your nature, it is up to you. Because you are the sufferer. If you destroy nature, or your next generation suffers. So they have got right to abuse you or praise you, that you leave it to them. But thing is, don't impose non-existing thoughts in Manu or anybody, any ancestors. Don't impose the ideas which did not exist in their mind and abuse them. This is not good for us. This colors, prejudices our mind. If you start abusing our previous generations, and then that too, not only you call them it as a intentionally hurting, intentionally exploitative. That means this is based upon cynicism and sadism. Cynicism means you suspect good motive of any human being. You think that every human being can only be evil. Like your Bible says that everybody is a sinner. You can only be a sinner. You can only be evil. You can't be pure at all. Purity is impossible in any human being. A good intention is impossible in a human being. Only by believing Jesus, some goodness little bit comes to you. Otherwise, you can only be evil. So, by nature, human being is evil. Therefore, our ancestors by nature are evil. This kind of cynicism, it takes you nowhere. Nowhere means it takes you definitely somewhere. That is hell. Not nowhere. It takes you to some place. It's a very bad thing. Non-existing thing talking is ridiculous. Too much of suspecting, too much negatively talking, even non-existing. Certain things have changed. Certain things, mistakes are there. Because there is no perfect human being on the earth. So Manu and other things also have committed mistakes. Mistakes means that is the best thing they could think of at that moment. They thought that was the best thing they thought. In that thing there might be few mistakes, but it's okay. We can correct them and go ahead. Take good points from them and correct their few weaknesses and mistakes. And certain things, at that time it was good, but late because of the changed conditions, changed times, they look wrong. For that, neither Manu is responsible, nor you have to retain that, because it has changed now. You can't use it now. The things have changed. So the very circumstances have changed, timings have changed, time has changed. Therefore, even if you love, however respect you have for Manu, you can't use certain things. Because the things have outdated. Even if Manu was present in our generation, he would have rejected it, updated and rejected it, because the circumstances don't permit them to use them. So they have become outdated, you have to throw them out. But you can't abuse, you can't say that he was only evil motive, he had only evil motive to do that. Now, seeing the present condition, these are all too much of negative talking. Okay, next.
Ramasya dukkhanya dhamsanta. Ramasya dukkhani adhamsanta.
Correct. It is sixth one or seventh one? Seventh one. Okay.
The miseries of Rama got perished.
See, this is an idiomatic expression. Dukkham is enough, but he says miseries, dukkhani, his problems. His problems, we call them bahuvachana like that. Adhvam santa. Okay.
Mitranam tyage nalajjetham.
Why do you split like that? Oh, after tyage there is a space ide?
Tyagena annate bilisbekal nanu mitranam tyagena alajjetham anta.
You have changed it.
I changed it later.
No, but here there is no space.
Here there is no space.
There is no space. Okay. First you translate whichever you have accepted, but later taking the space, assuming the space between them, imagine, let us say, will that suit the meaning? Will that meaning suit there? First you do one and later do the second meaning. Okay.
You too felt ashamed by the leaving of your friends.
Leaving of
your friends.
By abandoning your friends. That means, ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಮಿತ್ರ ತ್ಯಾಗ is a ದ್ರೋಹ, ದೊಡ್ಡ ದ್ರೋಹ. It's a very bad quality. Mitra should not be abandoned. Friends should not be abandoned. Therefore, by abandoning your mitras, two mitras, you should feel ashamed for abandoning your friends, good friends. See, it is an accusation. Come a suggestion also. I should feel ashamed for abandoning your good friends, isn't it? Friends are good friends only, because you can't have bad friends. So mitranam tyagena alajjetham, alajjetham, you too felt ashamed. And then first these two people gave up, and later, ayo, they were so good friends, two friends, I just gave them up, I abandoned them. So you two people felt ashamed for giving up your two friends. Tyagena, on account of giving up. Allave, you two felt ashamed. Hage allave, you two felt ashamed on account of tyagena allave, on account of abandoning or giving up your two friends. Your is in bracket because the word is not there. Your two friends, mitranama, oh, two allappa, mitranam many only, no, many only, sorry, I didn't see that. Abandoning friends, that's all. Many you may use in bracket, but friends, that is enough. Suppose if you take the space between them, as your book says, mitranam tyage
na alajjetham.
Okay, if that is the meaning, if that were the meaning, tell me, how would it sound? Would it give a sound meaning or unsound meaning? Agreeable meaning or disagreeable meaning? Okay, say or first you imagine, or you can write also. What is that? Write and later you say it won't suit.
Living of your friends.
You two did not feel ashamed.
You two did not feel ashamed.
Ashamed tyage. Tyage saptami. Which is
tyage, correct.
Saptami ekavachana. Mitranam tyage. Andre on the occasion of on the occasion, or at, you can use at also. At leaving your friends, at abandoning your friends, you two did not feel ashamed at abandoning your two friends, many friends, at abandoning or leaving your friends. That's why if you give a space, it means different. If you join them without the space, then you have an option for splitting the sandhi. Tyagena alajjetham. So even this giving space or not also makes a difference. You can't just write anything like that. Mitranam tyagena. Athava mitranam tyage andre space must be given. He has not given space, that means it should be taken as that. So two ways you take it. You take either tyage na lajjetam. So this translation is of tyage plus na lajjetam. The other translation is tyagena. The other one is a translation of tyagena alajjetam. Tyagena alajjetam. So these are the two translations of the same sentence. One is assuming the space, another is without a space, means when it is a continuous. Okay, next.
Vrikshebhyah shuka udadayanta.
Simple, straight away.
Parrots flew from the trees.
That's all.
Flew up.
Udadayanta flew up. Hegadaragali. Flew means to fly in the air, that's all. Up is better because ut is there already. So it is a 9th sentence. So udadayanta, shukaha vrikshebhyah udadayanta. Okay. See, udadayate. Dayate, uddayan, Hindi, I will say Uddayan Mantri. Uddayan Mantri means this, what is that? Air can help ಅದಕ್ಕೆ flying. That are related to that flying. So Uddayan. Then in yogas, in Bandha, Mudra and Bandha, have you ever heard? Uddiyana Bandha.
Oh, Uddiyana Bandha.
Uddiyana.
Okay.
Dayati. Uddiyana. Ut andre meleku. Meleku, you flight means you what you call, you shrink it inside. The bottom of your body, this thing you like this, pull it inside. Uddiyana Bandha.
So
Jalandhara.
Reading of English books, I read it as Uddiyana Bandha.
Uddiyana.
Uddiyana. Okay.
I think this yoga Vedanta, I never read these English books. I read only Sanskrit or even Indian languages only.
So reading from English,
terrible. It is terrible. Recently I found. See, English names, Sucheta Kripalani. He pronounces it in Telugu and Sachit and Kripalakan and something like that. We think that since I know the names, Suchetaki, Sachit, it says. Because Sucheta, there is no takara in English. You have to write to T. How does he pronounce it? Suchit it is. Sucheta Kripalani. Because our Indian names, how we do twist them apart terribly. We should use diacritical marks. I don't know why we have got so much of resistance when we want to use often we want to use English. Then at least the proper nouns of the towns and the cities and the people, why don't we use diacritical marks? In fact, in cell phones it is easy now. Diacritical marks are available. Why don't they use? Oh, terrible fellows. And they take them into other Indian languages, something else. Name becomes anything. Okay.
Uddiyana Bandha. Okay.
Okay.
मृगावहन्येतां व्याधैः.
Just a minute. Uddayana Mantri, also they say Uddayana Mantri. Same thing. First Ta becomes Da. Uttu. Uttu plus Dayanam. Dayanam means Dayate. Dayate. Same thing. Uttu. So Ta changes to first Da, soft consonant. Then the Da, according to the Da, this changes to next Da. Therefore the Uddayana, it becomes Uddayana. Like this. Uddayana Mantri. Uddayana Vibhag, they call in Hindi. Uddayana. Okay, next. Udadayanta. So they flew up. What did he say? Flew up only.
So they flew up from the trees.
No, that's okay. That's okay. They flew up from the tree. Fly andre fly, flow, flown. Allave. How do you make it? Flow? No, flew is a different.
So the fly flew.
Fly flew ಆಗ್ತದೆ. Fly flew. Oh, I didn't. English is difficult anyway.
Fly flew.
Fly flew. Flown ಅಲ್ಲವಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ, so flow ಅಂದ್ರೆ
water flow. Oh, this flowing is different. Fly flew, flow. Fly flew. Oh, this I should learn. This I should refer. I should learn one more. Okay.
Mrigavahanyetaam vyadhaihi.
First you have to split it. First is the two words combined.
Mrigaha avahanyetaam.
Mrigaha, visarga. How can you skip the visarga? By what sandhi you can change the mrigaha you are talking? You are splitting it as mrigaha. How can you suddenly drop visarga and after dropping visarga join it? After dropping visarga, there is no joining.
Ah, ah.
Then how can you split like that?
Swamiji.
Then how did you translate? Translate ಮಾಡಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲವಾ?
ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಹಾಂ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿ?
ಮೃಗಾಹ.
ಮೃಗಾಹ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವಿಸರ್ಗ.
ವಿಸರ್ಗ. ಮೃಗಾಹ ಅಂತ ಪ್ಲೂರಲ್.
ಮೃಗಾಹ ಓಕೆ. ಅವಹನ್ಯೇತಾಂ means how did you drop the visarga? How did you drop akara? See, two letters. One you drop visarga, another you drop akara. Dropping of visarga and akara, where are the sandhis? Where are the rules?
Swamiji, ದೀರ್ಘ ಮುಂದೆ ವಿಸರ್ಗ ಬಂದಿದ್ದರಿಂದ ವಿಸರ್ಗ ಡ್ರಾಪ್.
ಓಕೆ, ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಆದ ನಂತರ ಮತ್ತೆ ಜೈನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಆದ ನಂತರ ಜೈನಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸವರ್ಣ ಬಂದಿದೆ.
ಯಾವ ರೂಲ್ ಇದೆ? ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಡ್ರಾಪಿಂಗ್ ವಿಸರ್ಗ ನೋ ಜೈನಿಂಗ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್. No, otherwise, in order to recognize that visarga got dropped, you have to leave it separate, unjoined. You have to leave it without joining it. If you join it, then sandhi becomes impossible. Nobody knows that whether visarga dropped or not. How would you know that? No, did we learn that after dropping visarga, joining it? Then without learning, how can you do that? Another thing is, if mrugaha bahuvachana, if you make it, ಅವಹನ್ಯತಾಂ ಹೇಗಾಗುತ್ತದೆ? ಅವಹನ್ಯ ನಾವು ಕಲಿತಿದ್ದೀವ. ಅವಹನ್ಯ ಹನ್ಯತೆ ಕಲಿತಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಅವಹನ್ಯ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ? ಅವಹನ್ಯ ಇಸ್ ಪೌಂಡಿಂಗ್. ಪೌಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಬಂದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬಂತ ಪೌಂಡಿಂಗ್? ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವಹನ್ಯ ಪದ ಹನಧಾತುವಿಗೆ ಅವ ಉಪಸರ್ಗ ನಾವು ಕಲಿಯಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಹೌ ಕೆನ್ ಯು ಸೇ ಅವಹನ್ಯ? ದಟ್ಟು ಅವಹನ್ಯೇತಾಂ ವಿವಚನ. ಮೃಗಾಹ ಯು ಆರ್ ಸ್ಪ್ಲಿಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಬಹುವಚನ. ಹೌ ಕೆನ್ ದ ದ್ವಿವಚನ ವರ್ಬ್ and bahuvachana noun, how can you join them? That ayavayava you are always forgetting. You have to do some practice of ayavaya. Mrugau ahanyetam. Mrugau becomes mrugava. Mrugav and ahanyetam. So mrugau ahanyetam. Two deers. Ahanyetam got killed or were killed.
Were killed by the hunters.
That's all. Okay. So where is that sentence? Mrugau ahanyetam vyadhayihi. So vyadha, vyadhi, two different words are there. Vyadha is a hunter. Vyadhi is a disease. Vyadhi, that is ikaranta pullinga. Vyadaha is like Rama Shabda. So vyadhaihi is a bahuvachana. Vyadhena vyadhabhyam vyadhaihi. If vyadhi were used tritiya vibhakti, vyadhina vyadhibhyam vyadhibhihi. So you don't get confused. Vyadhaihi is different from vyadha. So here vyadha vyadhi is different. Vyadaha is one word, vyadhi is another word. So its tritiya is vyadhena, but other one is vyadhina. Vyadhena, the other one is vyadhina ಆಗುತ್ತದೆ. So that don't get confused. Okay. So vyadhaihi ಬಹುವಚನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದರೆ ವ್ಯಾಧಿಭಿಹಿ. Vyadhibihi by diseases. Vyadhaihi here by the hunters. So mrugau ahanyetam. To this thing. See, mrugau ahanyetam gava ಆಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಅದು ಅವು ಆವ ಆಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಅಯವಯವ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀವಲ್ಲ. ಎ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಐ, ಓ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಅವ್, ಐ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಆಯ, ಔ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಆವ. ಮೃಗೌ, ಮೃಗಾವ ಅಲ್ಲವೇ? ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲವಾ ಇದು?
ಇವರಿಗೂ ಯಾವ
ಇವರಿಗೂ ಸಂಬಂಧವಿಲ್ಲ. ಏಚೋಯವಾಯಾವಹ, ಏಚ್ ಫಾಲೋಡ್ ಬೈ ಅಚ್. ಏಚ್ ಫಾಲೋಡ್ ಬೈ ಅಚ್, ಎ ಓ ಐ and au. These 4 letters, when followed by ach, change to ಇದೇನಪ್ಪ ಉಲ್ಟಾನ ಇದು ಇದು ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಔಟ್. ಸೊ ಎ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಟು ಐ, ಅಯ. ಓ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಟು ಅವ. This becomes aya. This becomes ava. So that Panini's abbreviation called pratyahara, a o I au, 4 together called as a ong I ouch 2 sutras. A ong 1 sutra, I ouch 2 sutra. These 2 sutras combined form into one pratyahara called h. H, a ong I ouch cha. So a plus cha, h. H means these 4 letters, isn't it? See, this is h. When h followed by vowel, you combine them. Aya plus ava, what happened? Ayava. Ayava plus aya, ayavaya. Ayavaya. Ya again joins with a. Ayavayavaha. Aya ava, ayava. Ayava, ayava. Ayavayavaha. Ayavayavaha. Shall I say? Write it. Ayavayavaha. Ayavayavaha. See in this aya, see here. Aya is one. Ava is another. Ay, av. Vaha is plural. So in this thing, so 4 are combined in it. So echaha. Ach followed by echo. Echo it becomes echaha. Eke, that Panchami Vibhakti. Echaha. When h is followed by ach, echaha, what happened? Or h if you take Shashti, Shashti Vibhakti, echaha. In place of h, aya, ava, aya, avas come. Echo yavaya vaha. That is sutra, Panini's sutra. In place of h, when h is followed by ach, in place of h, this ayavayava come, like that. Kalau api, ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನೋಡಿ. Kalau, Kaliyuga. Api. How do you say? How do you join? Kalau api. Kalau api. Kalavapi. Kalavapi ಅಂದರೆ ಕಲಾ ಏನೋ ಕಲಾ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಕಲೌ ಅಪಿ, ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. Okay, next.
Jananam sukhayaya tamahi. Jananam sukhaya ayatamahi.
Correct.
We strove for the happiness of the people.
We made efforts. We worked, isn't it? Strove means we worked. We worked hard for the, what is that? Jananam sukhaya. For the happiness, for the happiness of people, we worked hard. Okay. Ayatamahi. We made efforts. Worked or made efforts. We could have made effort into in English, verb alone. Why use noun? We efforted. Why can't use it? He is efforting. Why can't we use it? I think nobody is thinking of it. Making effort. He is efforting, and he efforted. That's all. You make effort into a verb. Why can't? My knowledge of English is very little, but I change like this. Any word, verb into noun, noun into verb. Okay. Devaihi sahasura
अस्पर्धन्ता
ಸ್ಪ್ಲಿಟ್.
देवैः सह असुराः.
ಮಿಕ್ಕದೆಲ್ಲ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಅದೊಂದೇ. ಸಹ ಅಸುರಾಹ ದೇವೈ ಸಹ ಅಸುರಾ ಸ್ಪರ್ಧಂತ. ಅಸುರಾಸ್ ಫಾಟ್. Aspardanta means
Asuras
competed or rivaled
along with the gods.
along with ಅಲ್ಲ, rivaled with. along with ಅಂದರೆ ಇಬ್ಬರು ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಆಗುತ್ತಾರೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲ. rivaled with gods ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
ಸಹ ಇತ್ತಲ್ಲ,
ಸಹ means correct. You say saha means sometimes with them only. He fought with them. Sometimes saha is used with also, not along with. along with ಅಂದರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತದೆ, ದೇವರು ಅಸುರರು ಇಬ್ಬರು ಸೇರಿಕೊಂಡು ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಯುದ್ಧ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದರೂ ಆಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಇಟ್ ಲುಕ್ಸ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಕಂಬೈನಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ದೇವಾಸ್, ಅಸುರಾಸ್ ಫಾಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಸಂಬಡಿ ಎಲ್ಸ್. that implication comes. That implication. Instead of that, asuras fought with, directly fought against. Fought with means fought against gods. Devai saha asuras fought with
gods.
That's all. Aspardanta, they rivaled. Rivaled means competed. A cutthroat competition is called rivaling it. Because devas want a kingdom of heaven. Asuras also want the kingdom of heaven. Why should Indra be the head of it? We also can get it. Okay.
Ramanaihi saha jyotsnayama ramanta naryah.
Split it. I think the third word needs to be split.
Naryah ramanaihi saha jyotsnayam aramanta.
Correct. Now we go meaning.
Women felt happiness along with their husband along there.
Aramanta is felt happy idea, just played.
ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಗೆ ಬೇರೆ
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಫೆಲ್ಟ್
ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ.
ಓಕೆ 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 ಓಕೆ.
ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಅಂತ
ಅರ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಮೀನ್. ಓಕೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13. Okay. So Naryaha Ramanta with their Ramanas. Where?
In the midnight. In the moonlight.
Jyotsnayam is moonlight, correct. Okay.
Jyotsnayam.
Next.
Ujjainyaah kada nivartadhvamiti janair prithyamahi. Ujjainyaah kada nivartadhvam iti janaihi aprithyamahi. When did you return from Ujjaini? We were asked by the people so.
You are making us 2 sentences. Iti, how do you translate? Ujjainya kada nivartadhvam. When did you return from Ujjaini? Iti, thus we were.
Okay.
Iti means thus or in this way. Janair apricchamahi, we were asked thus. Thus we were asked.
Okay. Thus we were asked by the people. Okay.
ಎಷ್ಟನೇದಪ್ಪ ಇದು? 14th. In 14th you have to say, thus we were asked. Or, see, the iti we put in the beginning. See, English expression, see, ಉಜ್ಜಯಿನ್ಯ ಕದಾ ನಿವರ್ತದ್ವಂ ಎಂದು ನಾವು ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ನಾವು ಕೇಳಲ್ಪಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಕೆಲವರಿಂದ. But in English, they put it, we were asked by some people that when did you return?
Correct.
That you can't put it because it becomes an indirect speech. Because the question is a direct speech. Then we have to say iti means like this. We were asked by people like this. When did you come? When did you return from Ujjaini? When did you return? We were asked by some people like this, and we have to say that like this we have to say. Or if you put it that first question and later asked later, then you add thus. First you put the question, we were asked by people. If you say we were asked by people like this, you have to add.
You were asked by people, thus when did you return from?
When you say?
We were asked by the people, thus when did you return? Thus we were asked by the people, when did you return from India?
See, when did you return from Ujjaini? Put a question mark and put a dash. Thus we were asked. Thus andre so far. Like this. Thus means like this. Okay, instead of thus you put like this.
Like this.
Okay. This way, like this. When did you ask? When did you come from? When did you come back from Ujjaini? Like this we were asked. In this way we were asked. This way. In this way we were asked. We were asked by people. Iti means in this way.
This way.
Or if we were asked ಎನ್ನುವುದು ಮೊದಲಿಟ್ಟರೆ, if you use that we were asked by people in the beginning, we were asked by the people like this, when did you return from Ujjaini? You have to say like this. When did you return? If you put it before, it should be like that. Or we were asked, and if you start with we were asked, we were asked by some people like this, then you have to say like this. When did you return? This way. Two ways. Okay. Janair apricchamahi. Janair ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂತಲ್ಲ ಸಂಧಿ, ತೃತೀಯ ಸಂಧಿ. ಆಪೃಚ್ಛಾಮಹಿ. ಪೃಚ್ಛ ಧಾತು ಇದೆ. ಆಪೃಚ್ಛನ ಅಪೃಚ್ಛನ. ಜನೈರ್ ಅಪೃಚ್ಛಾಮಹಿ ಅಪ್ಪ, ಆ ದೀರ್ಘ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ ಅಪೃಚ್ಛಾಮಹಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಅದೇ ಅಪೃಚ್ಛಾಮಹಿ ಪ್ಯಾಸಿವ್ ವಾಯ್ಸ್. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಪೃಚ್ಛ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್. ಆಪೃಚ್ಛ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಲೀವ್, ಬಿಡಿಂಗ್ ಗುಡ್ ಬೈ. ಗುಡ್ ಬೈ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಪೃಚ್ಛ. ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಲೀವ್. if you take it. ನ್ಯವರ್ತಧ್ವಂ. when did you? kada ನ್ಯವರ್ತಧ್ವಂ.
When did you return from?
Okay.
Vatena.
Okay.
Vatena vriksha akampanta. The trees shook or shook, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Shook only. Shake, shook, shaken.
Shake, shook.
Shake, shook, shaken.
Okay. The trees shook due to the wind.
Correct. The trees shook.
Due to ಇಲ್ಲ by the wind.
Due to wind or by the wind. Due to wind. That's better. Shook, shake, shook, shaken.
हरीणां पराजयेन मोदन्त सेनापतयः.
Split.
हरीणां पराजयेन अमोदन्त सेनापतयः.
हरीणां पराजयेन सेनापतयः अमोदन्त. The senapatis.
The generals rejoiced by the defeat of their enemies.
Correct. The generals rejoiced, isn't it? That's a good expression. Generals rejoiced at the defeat of, or by the defeat of, by a defeat of enemies. or at the defeat of enemies. Correct. Amodanta is a word here. Modate, modete, modante. Amodata. That's how the amodata is used. He is given here. The reason in the amodanta. Okay, next.
Graham pravishamchoraha param nalabhanta dhanam. Graham pravishamchoraha param alabhanta dhanam. Thieves entered the house but did not get wealth.
ಇದಕ್ಕೇನು ಹೇಳಬೇಕು? ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಪಾಪ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾ? ಸಂತೋಷ ಏನು ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾ? ಅನ್ಫಾರ್ಚುನೇಟ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾ? ಥೀವ್ಸ್ ಎಂಟರ್ಡ್ ದ ಹೌಸ್
ಬಟ್
ಡಿಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೆಟ್ ದ ವೆಲ್ತ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾವಿಷನ್ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಯೋಗ, and another thing is nalabhanta, na alabhanta. Is another past tense prayoga. Plus another new expression is param. Parantu we call it. Param means but. Okay. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಧಿ ಪ್ರಾವಿಶಂಚೋರಾಹ ಪ್ರಾವಿಶಂಶ್ಚೋರಾಹ. ಹೇಗೆ? ಬಿಡಾಲಾಂಸ್ ತಾಡಯತಿ, ಬಿಡಾಲಾನ್ ತಾಡಯತಿ, ಬಿಡಾಲಾಂಸ್ ತಾಡಯತಿ. ಪ್ರಾವಿಶಂಚೋರಾಹ ಪ್ರಾವಿಶಂಶ್ಚೋರಾಹ. See, when na followed by cha, ta or ta, this changes to two, visarga and anuswara. Two, of course there is no line for this. It anuswara and visarga both. Anuswara remains, visarga further changes to, according to the rule, to be changes to sa. Sa changes to sha. So here pravishan choraha, in these things na changes to anuswara, then visarga changes to sha, cha is always there. So what do you call them? Pravishanschorah. For this example, bidalan tadayati. Same like this. Bidalans sta. Earlier came the example. Bidalans tadayati. Nagaran, no, that is tha is already there. No. Graman tarati. He crosses the gramas. Gramans tarati. Like that. So na followed by cha, ta, ta. Na changes to one anuswara as well as visarga. Two. It changes to two simultaneously. Anuswara remains as it is, but visarga changes further according to the following consonant. This is the basic rule. So pravishans choraha, bidalams tadayati, gramams tarati. ಭವಾನ್ ತಿಷ್ಠತಿ. ಭವಾನ್ ಅಂದರೆ ತಾವು ತಮರು ಇದೆಯಾ, ತಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ತಾವು ತಿಷ್ಠತಿ, ಭವಾನ್ಸ್ ತಿಷ್ಠತಿ. like that. Bhavans tishtati. Bhavan, this becomes Anuswara. Bhavans tishtati. Not only Anuswara, it becomes Ardha Chandra also. Bhavan, it becomes Bhava. Ardha Chandra, you know that? It is like this. Bhava, it is Bhavam, idu Bhava. Only right. Bhava is North Indian Hindi also they use such an expression. Have you seen this Kanvaria? They recently happened. The people carry Ganga water to their villages. You never heard the news. People wear the kashaya and then go to the field and put what you call these things. They put a wooden stick on two sides and then on their shoulder and carry one vessel of Ganga water in the front and in the back and hold it with a thread and tie it to the stick and carry it. What do you call that stick? Telugunalli kavadi we call it. Kavadi. Kannadalli illave illa. So that kavadi, it is in fact kavadi. A kavadi in North Indian they call it kavadi. A kavadi, I don't know. This da is written as with R in English. Kavaria. But it kava, it is in fact the va. If va they don't know how to write it. They call it kavaria. Kanvaria. Because kamaria, it is not this. Kamaria, va alla, kamaria, kama. Ka they don't know how to, because in English you can't write it. Therefore they put it kan. So this n and da is changed to r. Therefore they kavadia. And the kavadi use karne wala kavadia. One who uses kavadi is kavadia. So this ka is va, kavadia. Ka they add the n. And for D they used R. Ya is only one who uses. Kavadi is the main thing. We call in kavadi, that is. That Shravana Kumara, have you ever heard? He talks father and mother on two sides and putting them in their plates, and the plates are tied with a rope to a stick, and he puts the stick on his shoulder and carries that way. So that is called kavadi. Kavadi means a kind of a balance. Balance can help there. Balance can help. Takkada. Something like takkadi. That is called kamadi. Another thing is Kumar Dese. Kumar in North Indian they pronounce it as Kumar. Kumarannu Kumar. So then how do you write in English? Kunvar. They start pronouncing as Kunvar. People think what is this thing? Where did you get this word? Kumara. That's why they say Kumara. Kumara Bap helte. Kumara Bap. Kumara means Kumari. Kumara means unmarried boy and girl. Kumar and Kumara. Kumari. Kumara Bap Kumari. Kumari ku ಈ ಮಾ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಕುಮಾರಿ ಈ ಕುಮ್ಮ ಬರಬೇಕಲ್ಲವೇ ಈ ಮಾ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಹಾಕಿಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದು ಮಾ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ I think this ku. A ku they put it na. In English we don't have this nasal. How do you pronounce it? Therefore they put n. And it becomes Kumara. Yam I have to make. Kunvara ಆಗಿಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. Kunvara. I think it's very difficult. Unless you know the Hindi word, you can't pronounce it. They pronounce it any way as they like it. Because all these westernized Hindus, we ourselves pronounce our own word wrongly. Kanvaria ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ. You see Kanvaria in all the news. It is not Kanvaria, it is Kavadia. Kavadia eke ya is one who uses it. Kavadi. One who uses kavadi. Kavadi, that takkadi. Something like takkadi carrying two people, kamadi. Like that. Okay, leave it. These names, oh, how much they change. Bajrang Bali, do you know that? Did I tell you? Bajrang Bali means, I thought it is Bajrang Bali. Some people start writing like this. Bajrang Bali. Bhaja Rang Bali. ಇದು ಭಜ ಅಲ್ಲ, ರಂಗಬಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಬಜರಂಗ ಬಲಿ. ಬಜರಂಗ ಬಲಿ ಏನು? ಇದು ಬಜರಂಗ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಜ್ರಾಂಗ ಬಲಿ. ವಜ್ರಾಂಗ ಬಲಿ. ಹೂಸ್ ಬಲಂ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ವಜ್ರಾಂಗ. ಇನ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂಗಬಲಿ, ಅಂಗಬಲಂ, ಬಲಂ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತ್ ಆಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಬಾಡಿ. ಅಂಗಬಲಂ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ವಜ್ರ. ವಜ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ಸಮಾನ್ ಅಂಗಬಲಿ. One who has the Angabalam, strength of the body, equal to Vajra. Vajra Angabali. Even North Indians, they pronounce Vajra becomes Bajra. See, and Jara, they split it as a two separate words. Vajara, Bajara, Angabali. So they say Bajrangabali. They think Bhaja Ranga Bali. It is Ranga. It is not Ranga. It is Anga. Anything. So Bhaja Ranga Bali. ಈಗ ಸಿ ಅದು ಆ ಭಗವದ್ಧ್ವಜಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಭಗವದ್ಧ್ವಜ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಭಗವದ್ಧ್ವಜ ಅಂದರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಭಗವದ್ಧ್ವಜ RSS ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ದೆಮ್ RSS ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಭಗವದ್ಧ್ವಜ. ಯು ಆಸ್ಕ್ ದೆಮ್ ಹೌ ಡು ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದ ವರ್ಡ್ ಭಗವದ್ಧ್ವಜ ಅಂದರೆ ದೇ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಭಗವಾನ್ಸ್ ಧ್ವಜ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಭಗುವ. ಭಗವಾನು ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಭಗುವ. ಭಗುವ ಇನ್ ನಾರ್ತ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಹಿಂದಿ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಕಾಷಾಯ. ಭಗುಆ, ಭಗುಆ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಷಾಯ. ಭಗುವ ರಂಗ್ ಎಂದು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಈ ಭಗುವ ರಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಷಾಯ ರಂಗ್. In English, when you write Bhagava, Bhagava means, how do you say? How do they write in English? They make it very difficult, I tell you. Bhagava, Bhagavad, Dvaja, Bhagavad. They say Bhagavad Dvaja. People think that it is, Bhagavan's Dvaja ankoltare. It is Bhagava, it is indicating a color. It doesn't mean God or anything. Bhagava, it is a North Indian. So, in why do you have to use that North Indian word when you come to South India? Simple say Kashaya Dvaja. What do you call in North Indian? In Kannada? Kashaya? Kesari Dvaja. Kesari is Kashaya. Oh, okay. So, say either Kesari Dvaja. In Telugu, people should have done, we call it Kashaya. Kashaya Dvaja. Kashaya Dvaja, Kesari Dvaja. But Kashaya Dvaja would have been better because it's a Sanskrit word. For all India use, they can't use Bhagava Dvaj. They should use Kashaya Dvaj. Because it's an all India name, should be a Sanskrit. They claim that, we say that Sanskrit, we are using Sanskrit word, Daksha, Arama, Sanskrit. Therefore, Kashaya Dvaja, they should have used it. Instead of that, Bhagava, they made it, purely North Indian word, and Bhagava changed it into Bhagava, and you see them Bhagavad Dvaja. You ask them, how does that work? Bhagua. ಈ ಭಗುವ ಪ್ರೊನೌನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಆವಾಗಿ ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ ಭಗವ. Bhagua actually, because after O, A, two vowels without joining never come in Indian language. See, U and A, how do you say? Automatically it has to become Va, aage bidtade. It becomes automatic. But still they retained it. Bhagwa, they say Bhagwa. Pronouncing is difficult. Va comes automatically. In Indian languages you can't use like that. So Bhagwa Dvaj they call it. Okay. Next, proceed.
Kanya Avandanta Janakam.
ಅದೇನಪ್ಪ ಅವಂದಂತ ಅಜನಕಮ್ಮ.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವಂದಂತ ಜನಕಂ. Daughters saluted their father.
Okay. Abandanta, you can't make it a dirgha.
Avandanta.
Kanya abandanta janakam. Abandanta janakam. You're making it a long one.
Kanya avandanta janakam. Daughter saluted their father.
Next.
Acharyad shikshamahi.
I think time is chaitappa. You have to go. Okay, so complete the sentence and go.
Acharyad astrani ashikshamahi. We learned miraculous weapons.
We learned simple weapons.
We learned astras from the preceptor or teacher.
From Acharya.
From Acharya.
We learned astras from Acharya. Acharya cannot be translated as a preceptor, teacher. All that means. Okay, stop it. Because you will be getting late then. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Harihi Om Tat Sat.